I'm the head applications engineer for their data analysis division. Or maybe was, is what I should be saying. If Hayden is the big brain who comes up with the math that runs the search algorithms, we've worked pretty closely for years, really independent machine intelligence in his spare time. Here, I'm a good software engineer, probably one of the best. But machine intelligence? In a form factor like yours? Now that blows my mind. We've got full immersion, virtual reality, yet most people would still call you science fiction.
If you say so.
Because Parallax is rotting from the inside out. Hayden going missing is the last straw, and it's a big-ass straw. There is... how do I put this without giving it away? There's a new project about to roll out, and it's going to change everything about how Parallax does their business worldwide. Since the launch of the MeshNet, we've had some board shakeups, and the people at the top are different from the ones who've previously run the company. The altruism the company displayed in the past is gone, turned with profits and power than ever before. Not just richest. My guess? Parallax got rid of Hayden because he was about to do something that would get in the way of that. If they're willing to get rid of the brightest mind on their payroll, what's to stop them from getting rid of me? There's a half dozen people on the wrong person's toes and end up at the bottom of the bay. Nothing concrete. I probably wouldn't have noticed anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Hayden goes out for a couple days all the time, right? Conferences and guest teaching. He doesn't exactly share his itinerary with me. I tried asking around and no one will say anything. If he had jumped ship, went to a different company, it would be the talk of the week at the water coolers. Instead, dead silence. Thankfully, he allowed me to keep backups of most of his work, simply because I cross-referenced it so much. He didn't like having it all in one place anyway. Bring me what I asked for, and I'll tell you more. I need to make some calls, and this park ROM is fun. I want to poke at it a bit. If you do manage to get what I need, bring it here today and you'll get anything you want. Forwarding photos and info for the passports to Turing now. And I really hope you can do this. I'd rather give it to you than some other corporation anyway. See you soon.
I'm not quite sure where to get fake passports or an untraceable car. The only shady folks we know are those punks who vandalized Hayden's apartment. I doubt they could point us in the right direction, but they might agree to help us in repayment for the damage done to the apartment. We should check Market Street for them, in case they regularly hang out there. As for the rest, perhaps Dr. Fairlight or Melody could spot us the credits. That certainly is no small amount, but is unlikely to cause much consternation for either of them, assuming they are as dedicated to helping as they claim. Melody is assumably home as usual, and Fairlight did let us know he'd be we could ask either of them for assistance. Up to you to decide which would be a better course of action. No security right now?
Hey, friends. What? Later, you two.
Bye-bye. Oh, hey there.
Later, you two.
Bye-bye.
Today's my last day off before the holidays, but I can't seem to stay away.
You know what I think is a cool name? Dog.
Oh, look. It's my favorite human and the mechanical sidekick. I'm caught up in something at the moment. Chances are we'll cross paths.
No VIP access to...
You like wrestling? I can't wait for NSFW New Year's Smash!
Welcome back! Care to take another pamphlet or two? Organizing demonstrations a bit difficult. But I refuse to relent in our mission. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, I will not rest until I... That's a leading question. Of course, some people have life-threatening afflictions, and it's a good thing that science has evolved to treat all kinds of disease. Simply wanting cat ears and furry tails does not constitute a disease. A disease of the mind, perhaps. If the government strictly limits genetic alteration surgeries to only life-threatening emergencies, well, there would be a start towards undoing the damage. We are not God. We were made in his image. I feel it's rather simple. It's even in the... Modifying genes means we are changing the very DNA that makes us unique. We're giving doctors, among other people with a severe lack of understanding of the human condition, the right to make us into entirely new species. We are the byproduct of tens of thousands of years of natural selection and evolution, and now these people want that progress to just be reduced to a formula, to be injected into your skin at your convenience? And why? To fulfill some sick fantasy. We have this. Besides, why should we give these self-proclaimed animals the same rights as humans when they... That is the greatest misconception of our group. They would have you believe that we'd rather go back to the Dark Ages. Oh, sure, the human revolution wants people to go back to washing clothes by hand down by the river, right? We'll all go back to playing with sticks, yes? We do not advocate for a reversal of all technology. That would be ludicrous. We merely want severe limitations on genetic enhancements and a focus on medicinal practice. That would include an outlawing of cosmetic gene therapy, yes? People parading around in fur and scales as proud abominations. We need the government to protect these people. Through some concerted efforts, we've created an alliance with a number of businesses banning service and employment of unhumans. Yeah, they call themselves hybrids, but we call them what they are. I can't respect those who willingly trade their humanity away. Thanks to our efforts, many local businesses are finally gaining the confidence to only serve human beings. If they wanted to feed animals, well, they'd open up a pound. Why, just the other day, a neo-SF landlord thanked me for supporting his decision to deny tenancy to unhumans. He already feels better about his decision to seek out... Plus, can you imagine the cleaning fees? Great! Do tell me when you get the article out.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but doesn't most of the meshnet speak...
Oh, that's cute. Yes, this is true. Though historically, most revolutionaries are unpopular when they're in the middle. I sleep comfortably knowing that history will... Why, thank you. I appreciate bold integrity from good journalists. Oh, please do. And remember, God designed...
Is there something I can help you with? Kinda busy. The Hassie Round will help.
an extra cup holder.
One simple failure will...
It's that reporter in the bot again! Cheese it, Ollie!
Hold on a moment! We're just here to ask the two of you for a favor.
I knew you didn't have the guts to mess with me!
Guts?
And why would we want to help you?
We did trash that apartment, Chad.
Yeah? So?
We also didn't report you to the police for it.
Yeah? So?
And they still could.
Oh. Alright, well, spill it then. I ain't got all day. Can't you see me and Oliver are busy?
We need some assistance with some illicit activity that, statistically, individuals in your...
Oh! So this is one of those things where you need a streetwise kid to show you the... So, what's the thread? B&E? War driving? Copyright infringement? Search bombing?
Is search bombing actually illegal?
It's against the terms of service, so probably, at least in California. Oh, that's nothing, if you can pay. Ollie can whip up a couple that'll work good enough to get you past a bouncer or a cop doing sniff tests. He's a wizard with a printer and a lifted wallet.
It's more complicated. We need falsified passports that can get to...
Oh, yeah, I don't think Ollie can do that.
Not without equipment a lot more expensive and illegal than what I already have.
What about that guy who got at least that unrestricted mesh card when she was on probation?
That's not really the same thing, but it wouldn't hurt to give him a call. Give me a few minutes. This guy is pretty sketchy, very cloak and dagger. I'll have to play middleman.
Excellent. I'll forward you the relevant document.
Oh man, now I'm starting to feel left out. You sure you don't need someone's head kicked in a little? That's my area of expertise in our little duo. Well, that and petty larceny.
We might have something that will suit your... Let's just get the passports first, if you can
You sure yap a lot more than any of the ROMs I've ever... owned. You install some new conversation routines Ollie ain't had the chance to nerd out about? Well, they're top-notch! Very...
I don't run traditional ROM VI personality software. I am, in fact, the first fully sapient machine intelligence. Well, at least that I know about.
Which means what exactly? In English?
It means he's a person, Chad, not a toy. Now keep it down. I'm still on the phone.
Oops. And yes, what he said.
Well, that's awesome! You ain't so bad! For a tin can.
Tin can? Really? I'm composed almost entirely out of plasteel and silica. Has no one come up with better insults for robots since the turn of the century? ROMs have been out for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, that's a good point. Give me a sec. I'm pretty good at name-calling, too.
Oh no, I'm sorry I brought it up.
Just hold on a second. Underclocked? Oh, BitBrain!
Don't hurt yourself, Chad.
I'll get back to you, Bubblehead.
Okay, I talked to the guy. He said he'll do it, but he only works in trade. A couple of passports are gonna run us... one signed poster for Magical Commander Yukino? Yukino at the Gates to the Deep?
Course. It's always that Japanese crap.
It's not my fault they make the best VR dramas. Maybe you can do better?
Probably.
Anyway, where can we get a poster like that?
I'm not sure. Probably nearby. I've done switches with this guy before, and he never asks for something that'll take too long to get. My guess is he's a local that uses people like us as a way to nab something he's had his eye on. We'll help you look for it. I saw a poster for Magical Commander Yukino somewhere around here. I should have remembered Ramona had one.
You know this lady?
Sure. We talk sometimes when I'm getting our drinks. You're usually too busy provoking people to notice.
You call it provoking. I call it spontaneous enthusiasm for healthy rivalry.
There's a bit of a line. We'll have to wait a few minutes before...
We could just do a smash and grab.
We can't do that! She knows who we are!
Us too.
This is the most boring...
Look, we'll just stand...
Like a bunch of clumps? Chumps? What is the big picture anyway, Blue Bomber?
I'm not sure it's wise to spread it around, Chad. For either of us. The less you know, the less...
Screw that, Static. I'm not heading to juvie not knowing what... Spill the beans!
Your persistence is already... Fine. If you really must know, we are going to trade the passports for some information regarding the disappearance of my creator. His apartment was the one you trashed.
Oh shit, that Hayden dude is your dad? And they snatched him?
Well, Dad after a fashion.
Man, I hope you find the dudes that took him. I hope he's okay.
It seems very unlikely.
Oh man, I mean, I still have my dad.
Chad?
He's never really been around. Too busy trying to save the world from itself. Even now, he's over there standing in front of that damn clinic. And I thought I could find a way to make him...
I think I understand what you mean, Chad.
Hell yeah! Dudes gotta stick together, you know?
Dudes?
Don't matter if you're a robot or what. We all got the same shit to deal with. Gotta grab destiny by the horns and make your own mark. I was all mixed up, officer. I ran in with a bad crowd. I'm a good kid, I promise. Look, I'm not a true believer or nothing. I've got my own reasons for running with the revolution, and you ain't got the right to judge me. Besides, I'm pretty much done with those chumps anyway. There ain't no payoff no more.
Most of the kids in the HR just want to cause trouble and get away with it because their parents agree with the politics.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Who the hell wouldn't want to enjoy a little parental-approved head-cracking?
The line has finally cleared up.
Hey, Ollie!
Salutations, Ramona.
What can I do for you all?
Ahem.
Oh, this is my friend, Chad.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We were hoping you might be able to give us your assistance, Ms. Rogers.
We want to make a trade for that magical Commander Yukino poster over there. It's necessary for us to get some pretty important information.
No way! Not happening. Nuh-uh. Yukino is off limits. How does life and death depend on a nerdy poster? Look, I don't even care. That poster was signed by Takeko herself. It's... It's not just a poster. It was a gift from someone. Someone I care about, okay? Besides, you can't get another one. Takeko passed away a few years ago.
Perhaps there's something else that would make...
You aren't hearing me. It has sentimental value. You can't replace that. Look, you'll just have to order something off the mesh, because you can't have this one.
Oh, we don't have time.
Keep me out of this.
Hell yeah! I knew we'd get to the smash and grab!
I'd like to see you try!
I'd like to see you try stopping me!
Chad, we're not stealing anything!
None of your asses are stealing from me! And for the record, way less moe than I thought. I'm sure whatever you're working on is important, but I'm not giving up that poster. And there's nothing you can do.
Please!
That poster was signed by...
I'd rather not drag you any further into this than necessary, but I promise that we're not overstating it. This is a dire situation and people have already died.
Jeez. Look, whatever you're doing sounds sketch as hell. I and Magical Commander Yukino... I don't even see how the poster can help.
Man, you nerds sure do love your cheap crap from the net.
Cheap crap? I'll have you know that poster is worth hundreds of credits. Maybe more. Takeko passed away years ago, so there aren't any more of them getting signed. It's special.
Sure it is.
He doesn't get it. He's not in the fandom.
Thankfully.
Okay, enough. How about this for a trade? I have an original keyframe cell from Pretty Champion Sailor Sirius, signed by Takeko at home.
Whoa! You have a signed Sailor Sirius cell? That's super rare! They stopped doing keyframes by hand right around the time of her death.
You can't be serious, Ollie! You have that thing framed on your wall! And you wouldn't shut up about it for a week after you got it!
This is important, Chad. You can't say you wouldn't do the same thing if someone had your dad. Think of... I can't ask Ramona to give up something important to her if I'm not willing to do the same.
Maybe.
Look, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you can't give me that cell for the poster.
But we need...
Yeah, you'll get the poster. Whatever you're doing, it must be really important if you'd be willing to give that up. Do you have something more equal to trade, Ollie?
A couple of things, maybe.
We'll talk about it then. Maybe you can find me another one, too. Go ahead and take the poster.
Thank you, Ramona.
Yes! I can't tell you how much it means to us, Ms. Rogers.
Sure. And, you...
Of course! I'll bring it over when we talk about the trade.
So cool! Is there something I can help?
I don't like the way she was flirting with you, Ollie.
What are you talking?
I know flirting when I see it, and I'm sick.
We just talk about old anime sometimes, Chad.
Sure.
Well, we have the poster now.
Go ahead and call this number, Turek. He'll want to set up the drop with you, now that I've introduced you to him.
Sure. Change the sub.
I'll call him right now then. It's ringing.
You the ones looking for some papers?
We are, and we have the requested payment with us.
Good. We're gonna do this real professional-like.
I do.
Head there. Leave the poster behind the Mega Phobator arcade cabinet, and get out. Come back 10 minutes later, and your stuff will be behind the machine.
I understand.
Good. I'll be waiting.
Well, that was very
Yeah, that's how this... I don't even know his name. And I've been getting things from him for a few years now.
Who cares? Let him play Spy Master if he wants. Let's hurry up to Stardust and get this over. I've wasted enough of my day with this crap.
Go inside to make the drop. We'll wait out here.
Yeah. Don't want to get our IDs taken.
I suppose I should feign surprise.
Hey, it's a pretty cool set. Even if it is like 1,000,000 years old.
They don't really care about the IDs unless you try to hit the bar.
Found that one out the hard way.
We would have been fine if you hadn't taken a swing at the bouncer.
So I like the hard way.
We'll be right back, gentlemen. Try not to set the building on fire.
Hey, do you know that I'm in a multi-cast VR drama with NSFW? She's the world heavyweight champion.
Well, that should do it. That was an awful lot of fuss. Oh, I'd just don't understand the appeal of merchandise like this. I keep my... You did? Wait. No, you're being facetious. I haven't even told you when my birthday is. Still, your point is made. I should not be snobbish about other people's interests. Maybe I'll give Magical Commander Yukino a try when we get... But that's enough navel... Let's head back outside.
I can't wait for the NSFW Wrestle or Get Married show. You never know if it's going to be a match or a marriage. Or both.
Y'all do the deal?
How did it go?
We left the poster behind the cabinet.
I've never had to wait more than 5 minutes or so before. I wonder how he knows the drop happened.
Don't matter. This guy's a solid feed, even if he likes to mess around.
What do you need these passports for anyway? You said to trade for information, but...
Without going into too much detail, our informant needs to get out of Neo SF. The passports are one part of that. We also need to obtain an untraceable car. I don't suppose that to...
No way, dude! Grand Theft Auto is a felony with a capital F! Besides, getting an untraceable car ain't in the same league as a piece of plastic that'll fool...
Chad's right.
Of course I'm right!
The city's traffic management system keeps track of all vehicles passively, even if you manage to circumvent their firmware and keep them from actively reporting to the network. You have to spoof the car as something permitted to be invisible for the CTOS to ignore it.
I don't want to mess with boosting cars anyway. The junks run that racket in Neo SF, and they don't play nice.
Especially with the HR.
Well, thank you either way. You've both done us a huge favor. Call it even for the apartment.
Yeah, Blue. No hard feelings. You give us a call if you need anything else, long as it'll help you find your pops.
We should get going, though. We were supposed to be home hours ago.
My dad won't notice, but Ollie's will flip. You take care. Don't get de-rezzed.
See ya!
Goodbye! Let's finish the trade inside.
I can't wait for the cash and the chifferobe ceremony. Papa Loti really needs that money. He's a father.
Here the passports are, just as advertised. Now we need to find a car. Jess is right over there. Perhaps she may know someone. Well, prepare yourself. If Jess is the worst thing we have to face down this week, I'll consider us lucky.
Did you know that William the Penalty Hayes doesn't believe in dinosaurs? Rumor has it, that's how he got kicked out of the Football League. It's offensive.
Did you find your guy? Or wait, let me guess. There's something else you need from me. Well, you haven't been terrible to deal with so far, so... I'm willing to hear you out. Barely.
We need access to an untraceable car. An informant of ours needs to get out of the city without attracting the attention of Parallax, and is offering valuable information to us in exchange.
Seriously? Jesus, what kind of shit is in your life anyway? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to be legally liable. I'm not sure why you think just because I defend a few folks in the rougher parts of the city that I would have that kind of connection. And even if one of my clients did run a carjacking business, it's not like society is clamoring to give hybrids legal jobs. Regardless, I'm not going to be an accessory to a felony, or let one of my clients be either. I won't go down that path. I wouldn't know where to start anyway.
I know we're reaching, but this is important.
You just don't quit, do you? Okay, let me think. This might be a long shot, but you could try asking Majid. There are rumors he may have been involved in some shady stuff way back in the day. He'll probably be reluctant to talk about it, but there's a free lead for you. Get me another drink in exchange, will you? Later.
Huh. That went... I wonder if my charm is... Oh, you performed admirably.
I gave you what you wanted.
Have you seen Cactus Canary's finishing move? The Chico Chico Bang Bang!
Hey, friends, what can we get?
We were hoping you could give us a little information.
Sure, but first, Coming right up. I'll ask Gus if I don't... He's better with the weird kind of stuff people ask for these days.
Ooh.
This one is...
Does that sound good? Here you go. So, what did you...
We've run into a roadblock in our search for Hayden.
Word on the street is that he's gone missing, which I'm sure you already know. What can I do?
Yes. An informant of ours needs secure transportation out of the city, but we don't have any contacts who would be able to get us an untraceable car. Jess mentioned that you used to engage in certain extra-legal activities. Perhaps you could point us towards someone who could help?
He doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Right. Sorry, friends. I left that life behind a long time ago. Don't really keep in touch with that crew anymore.
Ah, of course. Completely understandable. Sorry to bother you then.
Well, no harm in asking, right? My reputation precedes me.
Don't let it go to your head.
Gus, I need to go to the back and gather up stuff to... Mind manning the bar for me?
Take your time. I think I...
Thanks. Love you, hun.
Well, that leaves us at a... Any ideas? Some nose-to-the-ground journalist technique? That's a thought. Perhaps the light rail, for a ship. Let me run it. No, I don't. Parallax themselves designed the operating system that runs the light rail. Remaining unobserved while right under the nose of the railway security system would be. As for a ship, we'd run into the... They aren't hooked into the CTOS, but they do use active... We'd have to find a way to remove it from... That's not the word. I don't think it would get noticed as long as the car... But the permits to operate a manual vehicle are prohibitively expensive. A casual collector might still maintain one, but we'd have to do a B&E, as Chad put it before. Risky.
No. Okay, the two of you are killing me here. Look, don't tell Majid about this. But, here.
What is this, Gus?
It's an automated vehicle maintenance scanner with a few less than standard upgrades. When you circumvent its security codes, you can use it to scan a car's installed firmware and replace it with a new set that will spoof its presence on the city's network. That's the gist of it, but we don't have time to get into any specifics. You need to get the hell out of here with that before Majid gets back. Look, Majid has done a lot to turn his life around, to turn my life around. I really respect that about him, and it's part of why I fell in love with him. He did what I was never able to. That's how we met, you know? That old rough-and-tumble life we both led. But when Stardust struggled, I had to get back in the game to keep us afloat for a few years. I told him it was all angel loans, donations from patrons. He'd be heartbroken if he... I had to do whatever I could to keep our new life, even if only one of us is... I may as well give this thing to someone who wants to use...
I can't tell you how... We might finally be on our way to solve...
Yeah, well, you didn't get it from me. Just get out of here and get on with your little Grand Theft Auto. And let me know how it goes.
Of course! Well, now I think we're cooking with gas, as the colloquial... I'm searching the mesh for instructions on how to use this to... Let's go look for some likely candidates. Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Give me a moment to get... There. There are some other options here. Ah, interesting. I can put in preset destination plans for a future day. Why don't we go ahead and set a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Now we aren't really stealing the car. More like borrowing. Me too. The car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. There, everything We still need to get the cash together before we can meet back.
Greetings, Get. My records indicate that you were here recently for an event involving Have you returned for a checkup? I can schedule one for you. And Patient Fairlight is currently available. Take the stairs to the second floor, and I will page ahead and let him. Please note that Patient Fairlight is to avoid undue stress. You will be ejected from the building if you begin to set back.
Stress-free, that's our motto.
Ah, I didn't expect to see you so soon. Have you... I've been receiving odd phone calls from strangers all day long. So I'm curious to know if your efforts have proven more productive. I hope my suggestion to speak with Melody Flores panned out.
It did. She pointed us towards a parallax researcher willing to sell us information.
Ah, wonderful. So then I assume...
Should be good.
Ah, I see. How much?
100,000 credits.
Ah, for someone selling a parallax secret, they ought to have asked for more. I'll message Leon and have him gather the cash, as long as you're willing to pass on anything that might be of interest to me. Information from inside Parallax could be just as valuable to me as it will be to you.
That sounds fair, Dr. Fairlight.
Glad we can help each other. Now, it will take a little time for Leon to run this errand for us. Perhaps the two of you wouldn't mind keeping an old man company? My treatments can be discomforting.
I think we can spare...
Ah, I'd ask about the investigation, but I imagine you're still missing half the puzzle pieces. I'd rather see the picture once it's completed. Perhaps there's a tale you'd like me to...
Yes, perhaps you could... As we've been pulling on the loose ends of his life, I've discovered that I know so... His time with me was such a small taste.
I, too, only know a little about Hayden, but it was a different time. After the merger, the board of directors and I decided that I would oversee the same research division Hayden was a part of. I first met him the day he stormed into my office and slammed his files down on my desk. To hear him tell it, his direct superior was stifling his attempts to develop a new search algorithm, calling it a waste of time. I should have disciplined him for insubordination, as the management structure is there for a reason, but, well, I admired his spirit, and I read over his proposal. It was solid, so I greenlit it. I recall he spent one furious weekend pushing our supercomputer to the limits with his calculations and dropped the results in front of me the following Monday, almost too exhausted to stand. He knew how to command a room in his own way, a talent few men of the mind have.
What was the proposal?
As I said, it was a new search algorithm, one that correlated the user inputs on the Lips OS with search terms to give more relevant predictive results to a specific user. It would measure all types of data that we regularly collect, and then use those elements to quickly and accurately determine the user's age. Very dicey stuff to keep as useful data, but Hayden's algorithms were solid. After a little work, search results became almost 25% more desirable to the user upon implementation. I'm not sure anyone else could have pulled it off, but it earned him his own research team. He was a whirlwind during those days.
He always seemed so calm and patient. It's hard to imagine him storming into anyone's office like that.
Well, he was a younger man then. It's easy for the young to bulldoze through problems. As you get older, even talents like Hayden have to learn to work through a problem instead of burning a path. When you get to be my age, you'll be lucky to have any energy left to budge.
Thank you, Dr. Fair.
That is a bit embarrassing. The folly of a younger man, I assure you. Our companies work together to develop the first generation of virtual reality neural implants. Really impressive work. Though, I don't know if anything could impress me more than Miss Flores. It was rare for me to feel so completely outmatched in every way. It was thrilling, intoxicating. The power she had over a room was mesmerizing. Riding high on the success of our joint venture, I asked her, quite brashly, if she could continue to outmatch me in different ways. I am ashamed to admit that I didn't take her rejection with grace. I directed our company to sabotage the neural implant program, but she was already 3 steps ahead, laughing over my defeat. We've been at odds ever since. But I have never married, and neither has she. Sometimes enemies can be closer than our allies in a certain light. Perhaps it's time to bury the hatchet. I wouldn't object to spending the rest of my time with a respected adversary. I shall send her a correspondence.
I wish you luck, Dr. Fairlight. Melody is still quite sharp, in every sense of the word.
I would expect nothing less from a woman of her caliber. She is irreplaceable. A dastardly tale. After the merger, I was given the position of Chief Technology Officer and was tasked with integrating System 1's Lips OS and Parallax's web search products. Things were going well, especially with Hayden's newest work, pushing the boundaries of what could be done with the technology, until the board started the MeshNet project. It was ambitious and has proven to be a game changer in the long run. But at the time, the board was blind to the possible weaknesses in the system, and I fought long and hard for more time and resources to make sure the new network was secure. A breach of the system could leak millions of users' data and would deal a nasty blow to the company at a time when it was still getting its feet settled. They overrode my objections and launched the damn project early, trying to You should know the rest. Some child tore a hole in the network a mile wide. The entire company had egg on its face for months until they could patch the security weaknesses. And despite the fact that I had made calls for more time from day one, They used the event as a reason to ask me to step down as CTO. I was a troublesome relic from System 1, and they were tired of fighting me, no matter how right I was.
That must have been frustrating, knowing you were right and being muscled out anyway.
Frustrating is only one of many words for it, Turing. But it was also a long time ago. I have other pursuits now. Ah, of course. Don't let my ramblings keep you. Time waits for no one, including robots, as the... Leon should be downstairs with... Good luck.
Thank you again, Dr. Fairlight.
Hey, there you are. Or, well, I guess you don't have bones, Turing. Maybe until your circuits oxidized? Man, modern technology really screws up good old colloquialisms.
I feel your pain, Mr. Decker. I am constantly amazed at the sheer number of sayings and permutations of sayings one must memorize as a matter of course while using English. Keeping up is a veritable nightmare.
No kidding. At least you have the entire mesh hooked right into your brain, eh? The rest of us just have to do with the meat. Anyway, Yannick had me get you two some cash. Not sure what you did to pry it out of the old man, but I wish I was getting Christmas bonuses like this.
We have a meeting with someone who might be able to give us answers and is offering...
Information can be real. But still, if you decide to blow it all on something fun, don't forget your old friend Decker, alright? I know some spots to drop a little unmarked cash. That's the spirit. You've got my number.
I can only imagine what carnal pursuits Mr. Decker was referring to, and regardless, I can ponder the mysteries of the human glandular system while... Mr. Mensa will be waiting for... We have everything he requested. I've read that a lot of people have switched over from their favorite colas and energy drinks to just Hassie. They have so much Hassie, including Mango Hassie, Hassie Light, Hassie...
Hey, did you manage to get everything?
We did. Here you go, Vincent.
Everything seems to be in order. Here. This disc has all of Hayden's research notes, data collation algorithms, and probably lots on your creation, Turing. It should be everything myself and Melody agreed upon, until she added an amendment while you were out. Frankly, it's no skin off my back. Here. It's my Parallax employee badge. It should allow you access to their networks in case there's anything I've missed. You'll want to use that sooner rather than later. I'm not wasting any time leaving, and Parallax is pretty fast to revoke security. There's no way Hayden's clearance still... And with that, I'm going to get the hell out of this country. The credit should tide me over until the heat dies down and I liquefy my shares through some relays. I suppose I owe you that. Buckle up. This could get heavy. Parallax is about to launch a new service they're calling Big Blue. At least, that's the project name. Who knows what the marketing guys will come up with for the public. They're not even announcing the launch. This shit is dead quiet. Let me explain. It's a distributed intelligence. Like, okay, in every way that Hayden built Turing to be elegant, efficient, and human-like, Big Blue is ham-fisted, bloated, and sterile. They didn't pull Hayden into the project. He's smart, but he's immune to corporate politics. As a result, Big Blue is far on the mesh like a spider and uses the spare processing power and memory from every ROM on the network to handle its intelligence processing. It doesn't have much personality, but it's very smart. Big Blue is going to be embedded directly into the network and then self-modified to apply even more efficient algorithms as it develops them in machine time. Look, if you access every ROM, then you have access to every human and every bit of their own personal data associated. I don't want you to take what I'm saying the wrong way. And this is just me Hayden was about to publish his creation of Turing. His findings, as I'm sure you're aware of, would have raised many moral and ethical questions about the advent of machine intelligence. I mean, some of the brightest minds ever have tried to warn humankind away from building real AI. Hawking, Musk, Gates, and the list goes on. The public is likely to be nervous, and legislators even more so. Parallax is banking on being able to launch Big Blue quietly and quickly before any counter-movement can pick up steam. Every eye on the discovery of machine intelligence works against Parallax. Every new discovery only serves to paint Big Blue as more controversial, more dangerous. Honestly, they probably pressured Hayden to drop his research so that they could keep the public away from the subject. He clearly refused. I'm only assuming they found out. His contract with Parallax affords him the freedom to work on his own academic projects outside of the company in his free time. He kept a trusted few of us up to date on his progress, bouncing ideas. It's exciting stuff. Both Turing and Hayden's eventual goal down that road. I wouldn't be surprised if word of it got up to the board and made him nervous. Is the possibility that someone on the inside talked too far-fetched?
I knew it all along. Hayden fell into trouble because of my existence.
That's not what I want your takeaway to be. Hayden wasn't working on Big Blue. Knowing him, your creation might have been his clever way to stop it. I can't really give you a good answer to that. I mean, the company is currently handled by a dozen server farms, running thousands of different algorithms with hundreds of people tweaking things every day. When Big Blue launches, it'll handle all of that by itself. And there are shadier applications for it. I mean, if you can collate and analyze data and queries in the mesh in real time, what's to stop you from delivering the content you want rather than what the user wants? The potential for abuse is staggering. We're talking direct control of the information accessible to everyone who uses Parallax's services. That's something like 80% of the market. They could control elections, push the market in directions they want, even influence public opinion. All just by asking Big to do it. It's scary stuff. They scrapped the prototype, Baby Blue, because it started doing that on its own.
What do you mean? It started doing what?
Manipulating the mesh. They made its self-preservation imperatives too strong, and Baby Blue started changing search results to be more friendly towards the idea of an AI. When the board found out, they pulled the plug on it. That must have been a year or so ago. They tweaked Big Blue so it wouldn't do the same thing, but it can self-modify. Given a good enough reason, it might decide to find a way around those limitations. Having that kind of control would be a hell of a card for Parallax's hand. They'll go to pretty significant lengths to make sure it works. Hey, no problem. I've had enough of this cutthroat corporate bullshit for several lifetimes. We haven't talked much, but I do believe you can find Hayden. Be sure to let Turing help. She's a bright little bot. Oh, slip of the tongue. I was just more familiar with Hayden's previous experiment, Grace. She was very insistent on things like that.
Well, honestly, I don't think I've made my mind up yet. I'm still a very new being. I'm not even positive that gender as a human concept can be applied identically to machine, but I do enjoy the idea in abstract. I will continue to consider how I wish to be referred to as well. If I had to make a choice, perhaps they is... Most people assume it, obviously, but he is also consistently used. Perhaps it's because I'm blue?
Oh my god. I'm listening to a machine postulate on how it wants to be referred to. Like us. What have you done indeed, Hayden? Good luck, to both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Mensa. I need a few minutes. I've been going through some of Hayden's personal notes from the data cache Tomcat decrypted. Now that I'm starting to get to know Hayden better, the real Hayden as opposed to the Hayden he showed me, I'm finding that I like him less and less. For example, remember the earlier prototype Her name was Grace, and Hayden shut her down for being... I'm not even sure what word to... likable? She was kind and bright, and did all she could to try to make people happy. She even decided that she was a girl, and that her favorite color was pink. Hayden thought she was being manipulative. He posited that he had made her personality algorithms too willing to make adaptations that would benefit her long-term survival, and that she was being congenial just to endear herself to him. That even her gender was a calculated attempt to make him like her more. But he was wrong. I have a snapshot of her personality profiles here, and when I compare them to my own, I wish I could have met her. I think we would have learned from each other. Like I said, I'm not sure I even have a gender. Everyone refers to me as he once they meet me just for convenience. Is that a calculated attempt on my part to impress Hayden? Or is it a product of his effort to curb any nascent similarities I had with Grace during my upbringing? I wish I could yell at him for being so arrogant, playing God in the crudest of ways. You can't choose to create consciousness and then take it away just like that. Even so, for all of that, I don't know. I still miss him. This all seems so inane, so senseless. They killed him because him building me would mess with a product launch? That's ridiculous. They took him away from me for such an insignificant reason. I just want him back. It's impossible, but it's what I want. I'd do anything. I'm aware of the Kubler-Ross model of grief. I think I'm somewhere between anger and bargaining. A testament to Hayden's craftsmanship. Thank you for your word. You're a better friend than I could have asked for. I'll send this new data along to Tomcat. Let's head back to the apartment and wait for them to finish going through it. Ah, home sweet home again, such that it is. And before you say anything, I don't feel the need to talk over the events of the day. Too much has happened. I've already forwarded everything we've rooted out to Tomcat, both Hayden's research and our aborted search into the modified mesh articles. They said they would be over in the morning to discuss our next steps. I'd suggest that we both get some rest. Perhaps things will look better in the morning, but I have a feeling we're going to be even busier than ever. Good night.